We're going to take a look at the oldest mosaics that were made in the United States. And they were made by the DeAndrea Company from the late 20s to about the mid-30s. And as you can see, they really jump out at you with really deep color that you don't find in today's mosaics, because today's mosaics are imbued with a lot of mother of pearl, which in itself is pretty, but the colors themselves just don't have the strength and the density that these colors have. And the mosaics today are largely translucent, where these are actually quite opaque. You may notice the diversity here in the color groups. I count at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different color groups for the what we call French mosaics. We call them French mosaics because Tony DeAndrea told us they were made from celluloid that his grandfather discovered here in the U.S. that was from France. And over here at the far lower right, we have several subgroups going on. We'll get back to those in a moment. But getting back to the name French celluloid, that was used for a long time. And then Crayon mosaic came into popular usage as well. One collector thought that they reminded him of the crayons he used when he was a kid. But you see this screw up here has quite a few yellow streaks in it. It kind of varies when it gets over to here, a little stronger with the red. This is predominantly red here with some really nice streaks in some of these. This is a stronger brown and white mix here. Blue and green here, and blue and red here with some variations on that right here. Now, here is a really old and very rare large heart. The large heart is from the 1920 catalog, so that's one of the ways we know these picks go back to the 1920s catalog. But a number of these shapes are actually from the 1920s catalog. And the additional shapes were added because Luigi DeAndrea was experimenting with shapes, producing well over 100 different shapes of picks. And we see these produced at their zenith of their production in terms of shapes. One of the few other groups we find this number of different shapes in is the Army Browns, also made by DeAndrea. So let's go on over to these subgroups, and I call them subgroups because I'm fairly certain they occurred after these French mosaics, and they have a little more translucent color to them, not as deep in color. And this is certainly second generation here because we saw that being printed on in the late 50s, early 60s. Now this group going down here is an entire mystery. I show it in the shape 58 here, which is DeAndrea. So these may well be DeAndrea produced, but these very dark colors here are some of the most obscure mosaics I've come across. And see if you can't get a better look at those dark mosaics. Kind of eerie, they're so dark, in fact. And they are quite interesting. They got a little bit of mother of pearl in them. And I've included them here because I have so few of them. And they in themselves are rare, even though they're not the French mosaics. French mosaics, predominantly thin and medium gauge. They came in various corks as well, cork pad grips, as well as several corrugated picks that I have here as well. Over here we could see a small heart. We saw the large heart there. Here's the small heart. And just for size comparison, since it's going to be so hard for you to come across these, I'm going to show you the difference in size right there between the large and the small heart produced by DeAndrea. And I love them. A lot of other people love them. So they're the most sought after mosaic of their kind, and just as interesting as the Jura picks we've seen already now with their beauty. But these are just a mix of colors. There's no real patterns here like we had with the Juras, but they certainly are a special group. And right now I'm going to lower the camera a little to see if we just can't get some close-up shots. So bear with me while I lower the boom here and take it down and bring it in a little closer for you. And we're going to move that around. Wow. That looks so much better, these close-ups. Gonna pan over here now. And this group here, these were the first ones I had come across. The first ones I had put into my collection. It's taken actually quite a long time to acquire these. If you come across them and you're serious about your collection, you're certainly going to want to put some of these gorgeous mosaics into your collection. There we have it. D'Angers French Mosaics, aka Crayon Mosaics. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.